Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.
It's about the money. Money.
It's about the money. Hey,
That's my guy.
everybody.
That's my guy, Tim Hardaway, man. It's about the money, Tim Hardaway.
Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend Paul Mokeski, coming to you on a Monday evening, taking my cap off, my Bridgestone golf cap. It's about to snow outside, man.
Oh, boy.
No more golf in Detroit. No, actually, it's not that bad weather-wise. Mo, it's good to see you, brother.
Good to be seen, man. Come out to Vegas. It was a chilly 65 degrees today.
Oh man,
chilly. Everybody
hey,
bring up your jackets.
And welcome to all our friends out there. Thank you for checking in to We Got Next here on Sports Fluent. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube so you can keep up with all the shows. We have great guests here. We got one of the most knowledgeable men in the sport of basketball.
Where's he?
Don't do that, Mo.
Where's he?
Big fella, 12 years in the NBA, more than 30 years coaching at every level of the sport. My great friend Paul Mokeski. But Mo, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And we got to go to your old stomping grounds in Milwaukee because it's getting interesting there. And I know the controversy and the stuff you see going on is nothing like the days when you played there. And you guys had one of the closest teams in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, winning fixes a lot of things. And, a couple of years ago, everything was great, and then, in my opinion, Giannis wanted to shake things up. And so he got, Holiday left and he got Lillard there and things aren't so rosy anymore. And I think they've been through two coaches and don't know if they're listening to any of them. And, now things aren't so great and people start pointing fingers now.
Yeah. The Bucks are off to a 4-9 start. I could have made some money if you'd have told me after 13 games they would be the number 12 seed so far in the Eastern Conference. But that's where they are, Mo. 4-9. Head coach Doc Rivers was fined $25,000 the other day, just today, for commenting about some bad calls that he feels they've gotten. And I gotta say, as a Pistons fan, they got one here.
Even the NBA said they got them. I mean, it's not a question. There's no question mark. They said we got it wrong. My bad. Yeah, the game's over. I mean,
and more, I want to get to that. The last 2 minutes thing that they're releasing now. Hey, but let's work our way to that and welcome all our friends and guests in. Hey, send us your questions and comments. You got one of the most knowledgeable men in the sport of basketball right here who can help you out with them. But Mo, I think the headline, you got to start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We knew they were a good team, but 15-0.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this even a year or maybe 2 years ago that when you look at their roster, their starting five, when healthy, is one of the best in the league. Their bench wasn't very good. Yeah. And so now guess what? They're healthy. Strus isn't back yet. He's their best 3-point shooter. They're shooting some of the best 3-point percentages in the league, and he's not even there yet. But people are figuring out how to play together. Jarrett Allen has come in and absorbed the 5 spot and he's blocking shots, he's rebounding, he's scoring. He's averaging 15 points a game, 9 rebounds, and that moves Evan Mobley over to the
Yeah.
4 spot where he belongs, and now he's flourishing, averaging 18 and 9. So now that really fits in. And then Mitchell and Garland, we talked about this, Ricky, last year or 2 years ago. They're a top 5 backcourt in the league. They are. So now you got the other guys coming through, and they're all playing well together. They're all accepting their roles, and they don't have any conflict because you got one point guard, you got a scoring guard, you got a big, then you got a stretch 4, and they're playing really well. And I don't think it's fool's gold at this point. I think they're going to be competitive for the rest.
And Paul, and I know you will tell us it's so hard to define what's going to happen as we get to the finals a few months away until we see what happens at the trade deadline. So teams will try to evaluate what they need to do what. Are they already beginning to look at that?
Yeah, they look at it all the time. That's what your job is as general manager, director of player personnel. You're looking at this every day. You go in the office and you look, there's a whiteboard behind you that has all the players. They have name tags. Every team in the league, every player's name up there, how much they're averaging, what their salary is. It's on everybody's board in their office. And they're looking at who's doing good, who's doing bad, what do we need? Does the salary fit in with our salary cap? Yeah, they're working on that daily. Now, getting something done is a different question, and that's harder to do. But yeah, for sure. I mean, even though it's only like 10 to 15 games in the season, that's still, a little chunk of the season. So yeah, they're looking at that right now. But, Ricky, this is the season of injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this last week. There's 10 to 15 all-star players out with injuries. So how do you evaluate your roster when you don't have your roster? So, that's another problem. And the teams that are staying healthy right now are the ones that are at the top. And the ones that aren't healthy, are struggling. But then you got the Boston Celtics who don't have their premier center, Porzingis, and they're still at the top. So that's a different level right there. So, it's a long season. We're not even at Thanksgiving yet. I mean, we won't know what's going on in the season till after Christmas, looking into January and All-Star break when teams will start making moves. But here's the other thing. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks or Philly or someone like that, I'm in 12th spot or 13th. I don't just look up. Oh, I'm going to look up. Wow, there's the third place team, only 4 games ahead of us. All we got to do is win 5 in a row. We're in 4th spot right now. I mean, so you got to take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, you got to get your stuff together before it's too late to make that kind of move.
Right. You mentioned Philly. Philly, they are 2-10, sitting in the 14th spot. But they're only 3 games out of the 5th spot. So,
yeah.
I mean, only 2 games in the loss column out of the 5th spot. But Mo, let's look at Philly and Milwaukee. I mean, really, they aren't bottom tier teams, even though that's where they sit today.
Yeah, what they don't have their roster. If they have their healthy roster, Philadelphia is the top 4 team, right?
Right.
I mean, Embiid's been out, Maxi's been out. Paul George is on limited minutes, so are they? They're not a bottom tier team. I mean, there's teams that have no chance of making up, any spots, but they're not one of them. Milwaukee's closer to being one that's in the bottom tier because they, Middleton's out, but he's been out for a long time, and they're still struggling. Look at the Denver Nuggets in the West. So they've had the Joker's been hurt. Aaron has been hurt. And they've dropped like 5 in a row. So but then when they come back, they'll be better. Milwaukee getting Middleton back doesn't change their attitude, doesn't change their personality. They got inner problems. They got problems with their players, maybe with their coaching staff. They got problems that are harder to fix for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's one report I saw today that said Doc Rivers and Giannis are butting heads, and Doc had to go in on him. That who knows what happens in that? But Doc Rivers is a veteran coach, Mo, and I think he's a player's coach. He played the game. Gosh, if a guy can't play for this guy.
Well, so, I mean, how many coaches, Budenhauser, Adrian, Griffin, and now Doc? So that means, you know what, when it happens all the time, maybe it's not the other person, maybe it's you. And in my personal opinion, Giannis has gotten a big head. He's got a great contract, and he plays hard. That's great. But, starting to demand that, hey, we need to make a move to get back up on the top. That was the Lillard move. Now saying, hey, my brother's not here. He's a big piece of this team. Come on, man. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, I've been in locker rooms, not really volatile like that. But I remember when I was coaching in the G League in Reno, and Sacramento Kings were our team. So we went early in the season before our season started. And Linda and I went to a game that Keith Smart was coaching in. He invited us there, have dinner afterwards. So we went and we watched the game, and we're waiting for him in the back area by the locker room. And I'm hearing some screaming going on. And, I'm going, we're not going to be going to dinner. And, players stormed out of there. And there was a problem with Keith and a couple of the players. And, quite frankly, I think about a month later, Keith was fired. So, it depends on, it's not.
Yeah, Doc, if this becomes a war, Doc won't win that war.
No coach would win that war except Popovich. That's the only coach, and maybe in Miami, maybe. But name me another coach that would win a war. Do you think J.J. Redick, who's doing a great job, will win a war against LeBron? I don't think so. It's just not the way it is. So that's a problem. And, I've told you that for years now. One of the big ways to be successful, and the only way you can be a head coach in the NBA, is if the players let you coach. They have to let you coach. If they don't let you coach, then you got no chance. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Pat Riley, Red Auerbach. I don't care. If they don't let you coach, you got no chance. And, the Bucks have been wallowing around in that. They made coaching changes and, some personnel changes. But, man, it's a scary situation for Milwaukee right now. And, at some point they're going to have to make a decision. Is it, we knew the window was closing as the better players get older, but has it closed now? Not because of age, but because of the situation. And if it has, at that point, you got to make decisions on trading big pieces, not this backup guy for this and the draft pick. No, like big pieces. And I mean big pieces like Giannis, Lillard, Portis, any of your best players. At this point, if it keeps going on like this, you're looking at something like that if you have the guts as an owner and a GM to do it.
And to Doc's credit, I told you about him getting fined. He got fined for going to bat for Giannis.
Yes,
Talking
he did.
about how his guy was in the paint all night getting beat up and shot one foul shot.
I think they only shot 9 free throws in that game, or 11. When was the last NBA game you see a team shoot 11 free throws? It averages 20 to 25. So, yeah, and he stood up and Giannis he's not Paul Mokeski. I mean, he's not a backup guy. He's a former MVP of the league. He should be getting calls. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, Mo, you should have got your calls back in the day too, brother.
Nah, I knew it.
If you get fouled, you get fouled, man.
It's not the way it works, man. That's not reality.
And before the show is out tonight, I want to get into this thing they're talking about with the last 2 minutes. I kind of want to save that. And we spoke earlier about a report. We can't substantiate that Doc Rivers and Giannis had a little confrontation with each other in the locker room, and there are arguments all the time with teams, Mo, because you guys live together just like you would argue with your brother or your wife or your best friend.
Well,
it's kind of different when it's the superstar and head coach. So.
Well, it depends. What kind of family you got? You got a good, solid family that has disagreements sometimes, or you got a dysfunctional, crappy family that fights all the time. Those are two different things now. And just because, you're living together doing that doesn't mean you have to be arguing all the time. I mean, with the Milwaukee Bucks for almost 8 years, I can think about maybe 8 kind of arguments in practice or in the locker room. I mean, and that's part of the makeup of the team and part of what kind of family you want to be. I mean, but what about a couple of weeks ago, there was rumors that Darvin Ham was talking behind Doc Rivers' back and saying some stuff and causing some turmoil, right? And the players weren't happy with him because of his defensive rotation plans, and they didn't believe in him. So Milwaukee's got problems, not just on the court. They have problems in interior, which are harder to fix. You can fix pick and roll coverage. You can fix, hey, we're shooting bad right now, but we got good shooters. It's going to come around. But fixing internal problems like that, very, very difficult.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, and we'll get to the West, but I do want to get your thoughts on the in-season tournament. So far, opened up last week, and it seems, I haven't seen all the floors, but it seems like the floors are a little more muted this year. Not quite as loud, a lot more subtle from the floor. I know the one in Detroit is.
Yeah, they have the same color schemes, which I like, but they've taken out a lot of the lines and the distraction. I like them now. I think they've done a really good job, and I think they went overboard last year because it was the first year, and they had to make sure the floor stood out. So when fans were watching the game on TV, they could tell, oh, this is an NBA Cup game because of the floor. And I think the word is out now, and I think there's less of that. I love the courts how they look now, almost kind of like a video game almost sometimes.
Yeah, pretty cool. And my Pistons are actually 2-0 in the tournament.
Coming to Vegas, baby. You play 4 games, and then you play you start elimination, and after 4 games, you get an elimination bracket. Then you have to win 1 or 2 more. Then you get to come to Vegas, and I think a lot of the players have now bought into this thing. I think last year was a question mark. I think nobody knew what to expect, and I think it was. I went to the games here. I know it was Milwaukee, Indiana, Lakers, and New Orleans, I think. And, I think they all had a good time here, and they all enjoyed the tournament, and they all enjoyed the process. And that word gets out that, hey, it's a pretty cool thing to get here to Vegas and play in this thing. And I think the players are buying in now.
Yeah. Hey, Mo, speaking of the in-season tournament, another report has the NBA looking at changing the format of the All-Star game. And the All-Star game is just not what it used to be. It used to be a really good game during the era you played in, very competitive and highly contested. Now it's really a joke.
Back when I played, it was a pride thing, and it was pride East against West, and there was pride player against player. Because in the season, Michael Jordan only played Magic Johnson 2 times a season without the playoffs, once in LA and once in Chicago. So I'm going to prove to you, we're going man on man. I'm going to prove to you I'm a better player. That was with a lot of these matchups. You know, Larry Bird proving that you're better than Jay, whatever it is. And, you know, there's more pride in that. And, you know, I just think it's become nonchalant. You know, I recommended, you know, we've talked about this before. They should change it to the World Against USA, because over the half the players in the NBA now are not USA players, and that would be a good competition. There would be pride on the line, and I think they'd play hard because nobody plays defense right now. Or I brought up, remember a month or so ago, break it up into a 3-on-3 tournament. So you break, you know, you have 30 players, you break them into 10 teams, and you play a round robin tournament, maybe winner take all, whatever it is. And you'll play a game at both half courts, and then you rotate quick games. And that might be a little bit more exciting to watch. And I think they're talking about doing a mini NBA Cup where they break the NBA All-Stars into 3 teams, and then the winners of the rookie team versus the newcomers, which is the second-year guys, that winning team would play in that 4-team round-robin tournament with shorter games. And I think that would, you know, stir it up a little bit. But they got to do something.
Yeah, yeah. Just running up there 185 to, I mean.
Oh, nobody cares.
I really think I could get to double figures in an NBA All-Star game. Oh.
Yeah, I know I could. I don't know about you, Ricky, but but I mean, yeah, I mean, because a couple years ago here in Vegas, I think they had the rookies play the second-year guys, and I think it was like 190 to 100. It was dunk contest joke, nobody even getting back, and everybody hated it. And I think they realized this is not what people want to watch. There needs to be some kind of defense and some kind of pride. They even tried to do it a couple years ago where they played quarters. Whoever won the quarter, X amount, $100,000 went to that team's charity, and that didn't work either.
Yeah. So we'll keep our eye on that. And but Mo, you're right about the in-season tournament. JB Bickerstaff, the coach of the Pistons, really excited about it. He's got a young team, and this gives them an opportunity to kind of experience some playoff-like basketball.
Yeah, and they're young, and they're playing better. They're almost 500. It'll be a great experience for them, to continue on with what they're doing. And you know, he's right. And you know what? It's proven that JB Bickerstaff making players not wear hats and shorts and T-shirts on the bench, that's paying off for him. Thank goodness. Old school. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's for sure. I think my guys are struggling a little bit tonight. But let's go west, because the West is same old Wild West, Mo, with Golden State off to a great start at 10-2. Oklahoma City right there with them at 11-3, even with losing Chet Holmgren. The Houston Rockets.
Wait. And Harkenstein. Who hasn't played this year.
They haven't even seen him yet. Yeah.
So they're playing 6'6" and under team. That's what they are now. Their center is 6'6", and they're still winning games.
Yeah. Houston Rockets 10-4, and Lakers off to a good start, 9-4, as well as Phoenix. Denver's struggling a little bit, 7-5. Timberwolves 8-6, Memphis 8-6. The Clippers are in the 11th spot at 7-7 in the West.
Yeah, I mean,
and it'll be like that all year long, won't it, Mo?
Well, the biggest disappointment in the West is the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks, who I picked to upset and get to the NBA Finals and win it, are horrible. They're struggling. I don't know what's wrong. They're all healthy. Luka's a little banged up though, but I don't know what position are they in, Ricky. They're at the bottom. Right?
They're 7-7, the 10th spot.
Yeah, which not very good for them. And that's the biggest letdown in the West is the Dallas Mavericks, because the Denver Nuggets, they're banged up and they're hurt, so you understand that. But Dallas has been relatively healthy, and they got Lively back, and they're still struggling. But it's still early. The Warriors, I said the Cavs were not fool's gold. I think the Warriors are fool's gold because they don't have size to compete in the playoffs. I think they'll have a really good season, and then in the playoffs, when you got to play a 7-game series against LeBron or AD or the Joker or some of those bigger teams, they won't be able to last in a 7-game series. And now it looks like Draymond Green is starting to be Draymond Green when he tried to trip my guy Edie in the game and with a non-basketball play. Come on, Draymond, stop doing that, man.
And Mo, we didn't get to talk about Zach Edey last week. We ran out of time. You called this 2 years ago when people were saying they said he wouldn't even get drafted at one point.
He didn't get drafted.
Well, he'll be a late round draft. And Memphis took him, I think, first round, I think maybe the 9th or 10th pick. Yeah. He has been an excellent rookie for them.
2 years ago, or 3, whatever that works out to, he was the best player in college. The best player in college, averaging like 30 points and 15 rebounds and 5 block shots. And nobody drafted him, Ricky. Nobody drafted him. But he went back to college, did the same thing here, and now he's lost some weight. He's more movable, has more lateral movement. Here's the other thing. He went back to college. Ricky, with all these millions of dollars of NIL money, he can't get NIL money because he's from Canada. And if you're from outside the country, you can't get NIL money. I got guys in Kansas not playing, making $1 million, but he went back, did what he was supposed to do. Then he came to the Chicago pre-draft camp, showed that he can move better than people think, showed that he has 3-point range on his jump shot, did all the things right, and now his teammates love him because he can catch the ball, he can finish, he's strong, he blocks shots, he's a great teammate, he takes huge picks and rolls. So
and he got some nasty in him too, Mo.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a pushover, and believe it or not, there's a lot of guys that big guys, tall guys that don't have that nasty in them. Sean Bradley, had a really good career, but he didn't have guys like that. Even Yao Ming, who had, was an all-star, he didn't have that nasty in him. So it's good to see. I'm happy for Edey of the success he's having. And
you could do a camp on showing big men not only the fundamentals of post play, but the nastiness of post play.
No, because you can't do that anymore. You get kicked out of the game. It's a flagrant 2. You can't bump anybody. You can't do that anymore. So, I might be able to show them a couple tricks here and there, but the physicality in the game isn't what it was. So it's tough.
Yeah, that is true. What do you think his ceiling is, Mo? What would you project him to? Can he be a 15-10 guy?
Absolutely. No question. I think he is already, isn't he?
Close to that, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's going to get better. Once he figures out stuff and, how to get, different things. And, here's what's going to happen, though. Around Christmas time before the All-Star break, he's going to hit a wall. He's going to hit the rookie wall. And if he can get past that, he's going to have a great season. He's only going to get better, Ricky. I mean, he's going to shoot better, going to get more range. His upside is huge. I think Brook Lopez plus some, because I think Brook Lopez was an all-star for a couple years, and so Zach Edey is that level for sure. Maybe even a little better. We'll see.
Wow.
And you know what else he has too? So what really pushes guys to get better is competition. Magic had Bird, Jordan had the Pistons. That pushes you, right? So he's got Holmgren in OKC and Wembanyama in San Antonio both young, big 7-foot guys that he can compete against and judge himself against. So that's all you make all three of them better, I think.
Well, I can't wait to see that matchup. I'm going to have to circle that game on the schedule. Steve updated us on Bronny James. Speaking of rookies, 2 for 10 in the G League yesterday. But at least LeBron's not pushing. Why is he not on the team? And why is he not getting in the games or whatever?
No, LeBron knows better than that. Bronny's not an NBA player yet.
Yeah.
Will he be? I don't know. Nobody knows. He's struggling in the G League now, like we thought. He only averaged 5 points a game at USC in college. Of course he's going to struggle. The G League is no joke. You know that. They're really good players there. So he's struggling. He'll feel his way. The thing that bothers me, though, he's not traveling with the team. He's not traveling with his G League team because they fly commercial. So he's not traveling with he's only playing home games.
Wow.
So that's part of the experience. I've been there. I was in the G League for 8 years. And it's no fun. You got a 6 a.m. flight you got to get up at 4 a.m. for. And you got 3 connections to get somewhere. It's not fun, but it's a learning experience. You get your own damn bags. You get on the bus. You put your bags on your own bags on the bus. It's part of a learning experience. I always thought every rookie needs to spend at least 2 weeks in the G League just to see. That's not all fun and games. But that's kind of a letdown for me. And it's tough for the coaches and this team, right? So they have Bronny at home games, not on away games. He's not traveling, not bonding with the team. The good news is, LA G League team is they practice in the same facility as the Lakers do, and they play in that facility. So, they're right there. But come on, Bronny, get on an airplane, man. Fly coach for once in your life. He's probably never flown coach, ever. He's always been on private jets.
Yeah, you know what? I've heard some major leaguers talk about the humbling experience of going down to the minors and having to do that to work their way back up. It really makes you appreciate being in the big leagues after you had a taste of it and then had to fight your way back.
Yeah, I mean, you're in RGV down in Texas, and you get up at 3:30 in the morning to catch a 5:30 flight. You have 3 connections to get to Cleveland, and then you got to take a 4-hour bus ride to get to the little city that their G League team plays in. Then you play the game, and you do the same thing the next day to get to Austin, Texas, or something. It's not fun, but you know what? You grow and you learn to enjoy it. Playing back like the old days, playing cards in an airport, or just telling stories, or getting on a bus and watching a movie and drive, having a bus ride down the country. That's something that, it's not fun sometimes, but it's a learning experience. And I'm sad that Bronny's not doing it. When I was in the G League, man, I had Bobby Simmons, I had James Johnson, I had Garrett Temple. I had, 10, 15 NBA guys come, play at sometimes. And they always, what they did? They went on the road with the team, and you know what they did? They paid for their dinner. When you get to a town, they took the team out to dinner, paid for it. No, put your per diem away. I got this. That's leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Mo, New Orleans is off to a disappointing start. 4-10, they're in the 14th spot, only in front of Utah. And once again, Zion is out indefinitely.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, that's. I'm sorry, it's a lost cause. It's close to the time to put Zion in Ben Simmons' area, right? In his category. Same deal. All this upside, all this hoopla, all this potential, and for what? I mean, how can you rely on him? I mean, you can't build a team around someone like that. They don't play enough. Too bad.
Yeah. He is I'm looking at, he was averaging 22 points a game, but this time it's his hamstring
I mean,
that's gone out on him.
has hamstring, back, hip, and we've talked about this too. His body is very unique to basketball. It's not made for, taking that pounding. He jumps high, lands hard, and he's undersized. So, it's I don't know how this turns around and becomes better. So, if you're the team, do you try to get something for him while you can? I mean,
Are they the most disappointing team so far?
no, I didn't expect that much from him anyway. No. I mean, the most disappointing team, period, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Not even close. Not even close.
You're Milwaukee Bucks, Mo.
No, I'm the Pistons. Yeah, sadly enough. I mean, it's really it's not good, man. It's not good what they're doing, what they're going through. And it's not. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And if you can't play, if you can't play for Doc Rivers, who's a players coach, a
That's what I was
champion.
saying.
I mean, he's got a championship ring, and so maybe it's not the coaches, maybe it's the players.
That is exactly what I was saying. Hey, Paul, but I wanted to ask you about this thing the NBA is doing. Maybe they've been doing it. I've never heard of it before until this year. It's called NBA officiating last 2-minute report.
They've been doing that for years.
And they've been doing it publicly?
Yes, it comes out publicly. Yeah, yes. They've been doing that. I think that really kicked in when they had the debacle of the referee that got involved with betting and was thrown in jail. And there was, they wanted transparency in refereeing. And, so that was their kind of answer to do that, which makes no sense because, you grade the last 2 minutes of the game. And I mean, in this week, Ricky, in the last 2 minutes, the referees have admitted that Tatum traveled before he made a game winner in Boston, and that Giannis didn't foul whoever it was that fell down and gave him 2 free throws to win that game. Yeah. That's only in the week. That's this week. So and what's the point? Here's what they should do then. They should name the referee that missed the call and fine them. They should fine them like you fine players for technical fouls. You should fine them. If you cost a team a game, you should be fined. The referees make between $100 and $500 a year, so you need to start fining them. What they do is they bring them down in the ranking, and the big money in NBA referee is in refereeing the playoffs. When you referee the playoffs, you make a ton of money. If you referee all the way to the NBA finals, you probably double your income. So that's what they use.
That's a tough job. You were granted that, right? That's a tough job.
Yeah, it's a very difficult job, but it's not that freaking hard. It's not that hard.
Is it harder to referee now or in your era?
I don't know. I mean, in my era, you could bump players coming across the middle. You could, take hard fouls at the rim and they shot free throws. Now you can't touch anybody, so everything's a foul. I mean, I don't know as a player. Some of these calls are so outrageous. I mean, someone goes to the basket, does a spin move, falls down, and they call a foul. No one even got touched. No one touched anybody, and now the players are just accepting it. I mean, back in my day, there'd be a problem. There'd be some conversation going on, which would lead to technicals, and that would be a problem. So, I mean, I know it's difficult, Ricky. I know there's split-second decisions, but they miss obvious calls. Everybody saw. I could see if I was sitting on the bench, I could see that Tatum traveled. He shuffled his feet. Easy call. It's not hard. I could see that whoever the Piston was that fell down, spun around, was out of control, and that Giannis didn't touch him. I could see that. I mean, you got to get the basic stuff right, especially when the game's on the line.
Well,
And
Paul, I heard on Detroit radio, I heard a guy talking. Well, these guys are so athletic today, it makes it hard. But NBA players have always been athletic.
come on, man. You think that Jason Tatum's harder to referee and more athletic than Michael Jordan? Dominique Wilkins? Come on, man, shut up. That's not. Now there's a more volume athletic players in the NBA now for sure, but they were still there when I played. I mean, just look at some of the video of Dominique Wilkins blocking. Come on, man. David Thompson, what, but that's just an excuse. I mean, it doesn't happen. I could see, man, when I ref practice when I was in the G League, I sat down on a chair at half court. I could ref. I could see what was going on. I could see when someone got an advantage. I could see when someone tried. It's not that hard. I mean, it's a hard job, but come on, man. You get paid big bucks.
You got to train eye, right? Yeah, when you got that.
I mean, it's not. The hardest thing is the block charge, okay, and the goaltend, but there's hardly any goaltending calls anymore. But the other stuff's not that hard. You either hit them or you didn't. You either traveled or you didn't. I mean, and they let so many things go away. The Euro step, the James Harden 8 step back, step, shoot. Come on, that's traveling. I mean, come on, man. Now you go to a high school game, Ricky. They're all doing it. All these high school kids are doing that stupid move. I mean, you're moving your pivot foot twice. How is that not traveling? I sound like old man. Get off my lawn, but hey, it's true. Man.
But Mo, you're speaking the truth, man. You were speaking what I'm sure everybody tuned in is seeing. And hey, send us your questions and comments. Got a question here saying that not only the 76ers, but the Bucks, not only the Bucks, but the 76ers have been very disappointing this year.
Yeah, I agree. But the 76ers and Embiid's been out. Maxi's out now. There's a reason for that, right? For the Bucks, Middleton being out is not a reason. I'm sorry. And that's the biggest disappointment. Injuries happen, and, 2 of your best players are out. I mean, you're not going to win some games, man.
And in the NBA, you got to have your guys.
Yeah.
More so than any other sport, I think. You got to have your guys.
Yeah, it's like, there's only 5 guys on the floor. And in football, there's 11.
Yeah.
So you can lose an offensive lineman, a receiver, and a running back, and you're still okay. You're still okay. But you lose 2 of your main guys for any extended period of time. You can make up for it for a little while. These guys, Ricky, these guys on the bench can play. And they can come in and score 20, 25 in a game in the short run. But over the long run, then what that does is your guy you're relying on the bench to come off and help you is now starting. And the guy that wasn't playing much is now taking his spot. So you got a domino effect of what you're doing. You only have 12 guys on the team. So that really, when you start losing your main guys in basketball for extended period of time, you got problems. And it's very frustrating. I've been there as a coach. You sit there and you lose a game and you played pretty darn good and you shot pretty darn good and you rebounded pretty darn good, but you lost by 15 because they're better than you. And you sit there in the coach's office or on the bus or on the plane, and you're sitting with the coaches going, damn, if we would have had this guy and this guy, we for sure would have won that game.
Right. And Mo, last year, a guy by the name of Malachi Flynn, to your point, Paul, that these guys can't play. Malachi Flynn came off the bench for the Detroit Pistons last year and scored 50 freaking points.
Sure.
You know where he is now?
Probably
playing in Austin, Texas in the G.
Is he? Yeah. Because he's not consistent. I mean, and a lot of it is opportunity, right? I mean, if you're coming off the bench in the NBA, you're not going to shoot 30 times. You can't. You get 10, 12 14 shots maybe. If you're starting NBA, you can shoot 20 times, 30 times. You can make up for a lot of bad stuff going on.
Hey, I'm with Steve Schroeder on this one. Take the goaltending call out of the game, Mo.
Well, I agree with that, but you're not taking the goaltending out of the game. There is still goaltending in international play. When it's in the rim, when it's in the cylinder, and part of it is below the rim, you can't knock it off. But the difference is when it hits the rim, it's live and it bounces off. You can dunk it in or you can knock it off no matter where it is. Or you can't do that in the NBA. And also in international rules, just like in the NBA, when the ball's coming down, you can't goaltend it. But I agree, and the G League uses it. It's been using that rule for 10 years now. The G League, everybody uses it. You know, when the ball hits the rim, it's live. You can dunk it, or you can knock it off. But the reality, though, I think they should implement that in the NBA. But Steve, I'm telling you, I've coached FIBA, I've coached in G League with that rule. It only comes into effect 3 times a game, probably, maybe, because it's just a not natural thing. And it came into a big play in a playoff series when I was with RGV. We're playing Reno, and at the end of the game, our player shot a free throw, and it went up, and our guy tip dunked it. Instead of 1 point, it's 2 points because it was a tip dunk, and we won the game.
Hey, Mo, before we get out of here, man, I want to ask you about a situation and talking about sportsmanship. The Celebration Bowl in college football that crowns the HBCU national champion. They're taking the post-game handshake out after a fight, it was scuffle. And there have been some other post-game scuffles. You have always said that you don't really need that anyway.
I think it's pretty fake. I mean, back in the day, it was like a gentleman's thing to do. I think it is in hockey. You know, that's kind of, what they do. But I'm telling you, I've witnessed in college when I was at USC, I witnessed a brawl after the game with Arizona State. I had to break it up in the handshake line. I was there. I saw it. And up in Canadian Professional League, I've seen 3 or 4 brawls at the handshake line. So I'm like, why, if it's not really necessary for sportsmanship and all that stuff, it's kind of false to me. Why have it if there's that outside chance that those emotions that are happening during the game, trash talking, Ricky, you're so-and-so, Ricky, you're garbage, Ricky, you can't play, Ricky, you're family, Ricky. So after the end of the game, I'm gonna shake your hand and you're gonna take it. Oh, I got a shot at Mo right now. Bam.
Hey, what's up with this then, Paul? In the NBA, you see it all the time. People been going at each other for 48 minutes exchanging jerseys. Do you like that?
No, I think that's ridiculous. Now, I wish I would exchange jerseys with Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, and
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that. They probably said, no thanks. But I never thought that's
You just
professional.
knocked me across the arena a couple of minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's professional. Now, if you want to do it for a charity, this ball behind me is a Shaquille O'Neal autograph ball of his rookie All-Star game. I got 3 of them. I auctioned off 2 of them at my golf tournament, and I kept one for myself. But that's one of the only things I have because I didn't think it was very professional. And if you're going to do that, then wait till you get to the locker room and do it back there. You don't have to do it on the court. This isn't soccer. Come on, man. Changing jerseys, guys change. I mean, that's ridiculous to me.
Did you ever go in the other team's locker room?
Sure. Yeah, every once in a while. I mean, after a playoff series to congratulate them if I didn't out there, yeah. And sometimes if I knew, like when we played Philadelphia sometimes and Mike Kaminsky was on that team and, and we're in Philly and I'm going to go out with them to have a dinner afterwards and a couple beers, and he's still, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to wait for him in the locker room. I knew all the guys. It's, that kind of situation. But I'm not going to exchange jerseys with them. I mean,
And see, I actually like what the NBA does now. If after the game, if you want to go shake somebody's hand, you can do it, or you can just go to the locker room, whatever.
yeah, why not? I mean, it's in football, right? They do it. The quarterback, head coaches always shake. Quarterbacks tend to do it, but everybody else is on your own. You want to go shake someone's hand? That's great. You don't? That's okay.
He says the Rockets are beating the Bucks 88-85. That's what I have in the fourth quarter. They got time to come back. Houston's an improved team this year, Paul.
They're
10-4.
very physical, very tough. Dylan Brooks gives them a little edge.
Good guy.
They got a really good 7-foot kid. I can't remember his name. He's their center. He's a really good player that you don't even hear about. I'm gonna look for his. I don't even have it here, but he's a good center. So they're not an easy out anymore. I mean, they have a good, solid team, and the Bucks are good.
We'll have to talk more about them next week. We got to get out of here, man. We had a nice crowd here. Send us your questions and comments, and we appreciate those who checked in. Thank you so much for watching. We got next from my great friend Paul Mokeski. I'm Ricky Hampton. We will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Peace out.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.